Ladies and gentlemen, it's been months since former Saints wide receiver Michael Thomas aired out the real issues and the truth about the Saints organization. But now that we're halfway through the NFL season and the Saints sit at 2-6 on a 6-game losing streak, it's looking more and more like everything Michael Thomas said during that time is turning out to be true. They tried to make it look like Michael Thomas was the villain in a team cancer, but this is proof that the truth always comes to light. And all he did was air out the real issues with the team, and all he got in return was being called a team cancer. But not me. Real ones knew that he was speaking facts. Because let's not forget, a majority of the team's fan base called him a team cancer and a diva because of how the team and the media made him look. But now we know that he was right all along. And for those who don't know what I'm talking about, let's give some context as to what I'm talking about. But first, check out this ad from Autograph, the best place to get rewarded for being a fan. Big news to share with you guys today. I'm excited to be partnering up with Autograph, a company co-founded by NFL legend Tom Brady. Autograph is the best place to find the latest coverage of your favorite team, whether it's the NFL or NBA or MLB. Autograph has it all. They have articles, blogs, podcasts, literally everything that you could ever need as a fan on their app. On top of that, they reward you for viewing content of your favorite team, stuff that you were already gonna do. For example, me, I can listen to a Saints podcast anywhere, YouTube, Google, Spotify, Apple, literally anywhere. But if you listen or watch the podcast on Autograph, you get coins. And in the app, you can use those coins to redeem rewards, such as free, no-fee tickets, memorabilia and merchandise, and one-of-a-kind experiences. I'll also be uploading my content up there as well, so you can also watch my videos up there and get rewarded for doing so. All you have to do is download the Autograph app, which is free by the way, and use my referral code CASH, or you can just click my referral link down in the description. Again, use my referral code CASH, it'll help me and the channel out a lot. And if you want to help support me and the channel in any other ways, you could just click my link tree down in the description. There's lots of options for you there as well. Alright, thanks for tuning in. Let's get back to the video. Going back to about this time last season, the Saints were sitting like 4-4 or something like that going into the Vikings game, but they were mid. It wasn't pretty. They had an okay record, but it was not pretty at all. They're going into a Vikings game and they were coming off a win versus the Bears, but Michael Thomas had 0 catches and Carr missed them on a play where he could have had an easy touchdown. And there were some frustrations from that Bears game, but as long as they won, that's all that mattered. And it seemed like they were going to have a heavy game plan for Michael Thomas versus the Vikings. That was until on the first play of the game, Derek Carr threw a hospital ball to Michael Thomas, resulting in him getting injured with an MCL sprain, and he would end up on injured reserve, ending his season. And this sucks because Michael Thomas was on pace for 1,000 yards. He was the healthiest he had been, despite having poor quarterback play and bad play calling from an offensive coordinator. And this isn't just a fan speaking about the situation. Michael Thomas even tweeted out, well, if he didn't get set up by a bad ball, he probably would have gotten a light little 1K yards this year. And if you look at the stats and the trajectory that he was going at, he probably would have had 1,000 yards. So that's a little bit of context that you need to know. So now let's fast forward to about March-ish, where Michael Thomas began to air out the truth about the Saints organization and their franchise. Let's start off with the offensive coordinator. There's no doubt that Pete Carmichael was a huge issue and a huge reason why the Saints were pretty bad over the last 2 seasons, which is why he was fired and replaced by Clint Kubiak. And Michael Thomas, who's in that building every day dealing with it, tweeted out that they weren't even trying to get him the ball. And we pull up another tweet saying that they were going 3 and out every single drive, which would be considered insanity, and the business is based on improving. So results. The business is based off improving your results, not looking beyond results. Got it. So I think we can all agree, even back then, that the offensive coordinator sucked, and Michael Thomas aired it out saying that they weren't trying to get him the ball, and they're going 3 and out every drive. And if this applies for them not trying to get him the ball, that probably applies to not getting Kamara and Taysom Hill and Chris Olave and Shaheed the football. I think we can all mutually agree that the offensive coordinator was an issue, and Michael Thomas aired that out. That's the first thing he was right on. But the offensive coordinator was not the only thing that he aired out. He also gave criticism to quarterback Derek Carr. Like we already said, he gave him criticism for throwing him a hospital ball, which is true, which ended his season. On top of that, Michael Thomas had to defend Chris Olave on Twitter because Derek Carr could not take accountability for throwing Chris Olave under the bus on primetime during that Jags game when he threw the ball out of bounds and yelled at Chris Olave for slowing down. Based off this tweet, Michael Thomas is saying the read isn't supposed to go to Olave, it's supposed to be a clear route for Taysom Hill to get the ball. And also, if you look back, Michael Thomas is wide open over the middle of the field, and yet Derek Carr still threw the ball out of bounds, which is why Thomas had to defend him on Twitter. And then he even went on a few months later saying people got mad when he defended his buddy Chris Olave when everyone else was scared to do so. Real leaders defend the truth and say things that people don't want to hear, but they need to hear. He also said, remember, we don't play the blame game, which takes us into our next thing, Dennis Allen. So Michael Thomas called out the OC. He was right about that. We can all agree on that. He called out the quarterback for throwing a bad ball and blaming Chris Olave, which he did. So that's another thing he was right about. So that leads us to our next thing, which is the head coach, Dennis Allen. Mr. 26-52. Double the amount of losses than wins in his head coaching career. I have no idea how he's still employed. Because they look past results, that's why. So when it comes to Dennis Allen, there's a whole bunch of tweets that we had to go back a few months to like December and November to find. But the first sign of him calling out Dennis Allen was putting out this: what you permit, you promote; what you allow, you encourage; what you condone, you own. Basically saying if you permit mediocrity, you promote mediocrity, which is what the Saints have been with Dennis Allen as the head coach. What you allow, you encourage. There's been issues of the Saints not having attention to detail and doing the little things right. And Dennis Allen, he's allowing his team to not do those things, so he's encouraging players to not focus on the details. And what you condone, you own. Basically saying Dennis Allen accepts mediocrity, and so do the Saints because they're employing Dennis Allen. Then in January, he tweeted out a screenshot of a quote saying people who accept mediocrity don't like high achievers, and high achievers don't like people who accept mediocrity. If you're going to talk about setting the bar, you must be willing to hold the bar. To me, this is another shot at Dennis Allen, possibly Derek Carr, maybe Mickey Loomis. Mickey Loomis is accepting mediocrity with a head coach because they're friends, and the head coach is permitting and allowing mediocrity from their quarterback because they're friends. He drafted him. And people who are high achievers like Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas, who have been very truthful about the team and the organization where they're at, don't like mediocrity. Now, I'm not saying Kamara doesn't like Carr or anything like that, but Kamara has been very vocal about his frustrations with the team over the last few seasons. And he's a high achiever. Michael Thomas is a high achiever. He has been vocal on social media about his frustrations with the team last season and in the offseason. And let's not forget that the entire fan base has been saying that the OC sucked. Last season, the quarterback sucked. Derek Carr has been better this season, but I wouldn't say like great. He just kind of been average. He's been Derek Carr is a fair way to put it. And then he also called out DA. These are all things the fan base has said is an issue. And then this takes us to March, after a report came out from Jeff Duncan saying the Saints were releasing Michael Thomas even though he was a free agent, and you can't release a free agent. You can't release a free agent. This was put out to make Thomas look bad. Michael Thomas snapped and started airing out issues on social media about the Saints. One of the more important things that he said is that because he's not a yes man, he's viewed as a cancer, but under a winning coach, possibly like Sean Payton or Dan Campbell, they will be looked at differently. It's a mentality that makes losers uncomfortable because they're so used to losing their entire career. Dennis Allen's lost his entire career. So yeah, Michael Thomas was right yet again that Dennis Allen is a loser their whole career. And I believe, and I truly do believe, players are viewed differently under different head coaches. I feel like if Chris Olave was on another team under a different coaching staff or a different head coach, he'd be looked at differently. There's a famous quote from Bill Belichick, like one of the best head coaches of all time, saying good players cannot overcome bad coaching. So now, why don't we recap? He called out the OC who got fired. He was right. He called out the quarterback for a bad ball and for not taking accountability for that Chris Olave situation. He was right about he had to defend him. Then called out the head coach who sucks, has double the amount of losses as he does wins. I think we can say he's right about that, as the Saints are 2-6 on a 6-game losing streak. And finally, he called out the Saints medical staff. Now, he also called out Jeff Duncan, but I'm not going to go there. Michael Thomas has been vocal about the Saints medical staff for quite a bit of time. He hasn't told his side of the story, but in 2022, Michael Thomas tweeted out in a tweet that's now been deleted. He said, "The NFL medicals suck. They're cheap and uneducated, and their job requires barely any education or curriculum. Well, at least in some places I know." Michael Thomas was not the first player to call out medical staff for this. Delvin Breaux, Keenan Lewis. I've had players in my comments on Instagram and in my DMs tell me some stuff. So Michael Thomas is not the first player to deal with these apparently bad medical staffs. He's just the biggest person to deal with it and voice his opinion on it. He also said that when Dennis Allen was asked about Ryan Ramczyk, he said he uses the same line and just changes the player's name as if there isn't a team doctor or any trainers on staff that have anything to do with it. They're trying to protect him as much as possible, but he doesn't work there anymore. Don't mind him. But that's the real problem. And then fast forward to this season, what would you know? Dennis Allen one day said Shane Lemieux, one of the offensive linemen who's filling in for Eric McCoy, he said that his injury isn't nothing major and that he'll be fine. And then a few days later, he was placed on injured reserve. Some things never change. And then Michael Thomas put a screenshot from an article where Dennis Allen said that Michael Thomas and Lattimore haven't made the rehab progress that was originally projected, but didn't say they had any setbacks. Both are getting closer. He's basically saying that the medical staff and the people who help rehab aren't doing a very good job, because he said they build you a little injury file folder when you're rehabbing, but they're supposed to help you return to play, but in reality, it's all the same rehab exercises and procedures, regardless if it's an ankle, knee, etc. It's called insanity. Basically, he's saying if you have a hand injury, you're doing the same exercises as someone with a foot injury. That doesn't make sense from a basic, simple standpoint, at least to me. So let me get this straight. Michael Thomas calls out offensive coordinator who got fired, called out quarterback for some bad moments, which were bad moments and were true. Called out the head coach who everyone hates. Called out a medical staff, and the Saints have been the most injured team in the NFL. Correct. But yet he was called a team cancer for it. He was called a diva and a locker room cancer. May I remind you that Alvin Kamara said that he didn't have a problem with it. He said that's how Michael Thomas wants to voice Michael Thomas's opinion.
I mean, Mike is Mike, you know what I'm saying? So whatever he chooses to tweet in his free time is what he chooses to tweet. And I wouldn't say that I don't know everything that he tweeted, but I've seen a couple, and I wouldn't say that I particularly have a problem with, anything he was tweeting. That's his personal opinion.
Rashid Shaheed said Michael Thomas was one of the reasons why he was able to grow as a pro in the NFL.
Right, yeah, no, it means everything. And I give a lot of credit to coaches. They've taught me how to become a pro very quickly. And the guys that have come before me, they kind of have led the way. And coming in as a young guy and looking at guys like Michael Thomas and all the great vets that we've had, they've given great examples of how to approach each and every day.
Chris Olave said he wanted Michael Thomas to come back.
I feel like Mike was one of our best players on offense when he was playing. So we'll see what happens with that, but I definitely want him back here.
A.T. Perry said Michael Thomas was a veteran who helped him learn the playbook, helped him learn how to practice better, helped him learn how to be a professional.
Is there a veteran in the locker room that you kind of look up to and damn, who puts you on the game to some that
Mike T as well. Everybody got everything to say about this man. But he loves football. The way he practices, most importantly, just the way he carries himself, just around us, you know what I'm saying? And the knowledge that he gives us, he's man, that stuff gonna be there. You know what I'm saying? Get your money, man. Live happy, bro. Take care of your family. You know what I'm saying? Love this sport. You know what I'm saying? When it came to football, he was always harping on the details about it. You know what I'm saying? Just whether it's your route, whether you catch the ball, all of that. It's just how you practice and then how it shows up in the game. He was always harping on that. Even when I had my arms crossed, uncross your arms,
body
that
language.
shows you're not here. You're not with football right now. Uncross your arms, bro, when you get out there, be ready, stay ready. And when my opportunity came, I always think about what he told me. He was the times that I wasn't playing, Like, I was on the sideline watching him play. You know what I'm saying? Just watching him like throughout the week in practice, how he prepares himself, and then go out in the game and do what he does. It's like, it's crazy. So, you know, like I feed off that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to take those pieces from them.
But yet, he's a team cancer. That stuff just doesn't add up to me. And now here we are, the Saints sit at 2-6 after releasing team cancer Michael Thomas. And you would think if you released the team cancer, you would be better, wouldn't you? Like, wouldn't you be better if you lost the team cancer player? The medical staff hasn't been the best. The Saints have lost their last 3 games with Carr at quarterback. The head coach, like we said, sucks and is a loser. And the organization seems to be falling apart. And because of this, some dude, Matt something on After Further Review, posted a clip of him basically saying the same stuff that Michael Thomas said, basically airing out that Mickey Loomis is a problem, the head coach is a problem, the bad drafting is a problem, the medical staff is a problem. And this went viral on Twitter, and Michael Thomas responded to this tweet saying, is this the same guy? And the same guy who does this show called out Michael Thomas back in March, called him a team cancer for saying the exact same things that he is saying now. Now that dude responded to Michael Thomas with a video, and I watched the video, and he missed the entire point of Michael Thomas's tweet. He called him, what was it? Let me see it. He's called him unemployed, which is true, but calling someone unemployed doesn't work if they're a millionaire who's set up for life. Calling Marquez Callaway unemployed would work. Calling Michael Thomas unemployed doesn't. He also said he's a team cancer because he fought Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. I feel like that would work if the locker room was divided and they hated each other, but like just last season they were on Twitter interacting with each other. We've had Saints fights in practice. Chris Olave and Adebo got into a fight this past training camp. Are they team cancers? That whole video just made me laugh. That thing was freaking hilarious. He missed the entire point of Michael Thomas's tweet. I don't know how him and his entire team missed the point, but I found it funny. Now back to the unemployed thing. Michael Thomas is still a free agent. Now, to my knowledge, there hasn't been any workouts, but I have seen stuff that teams have been interested. Like, for example, this right here, Jeremy Fowler reported that the Ravens were interested in Michael Thomas, like back in March. There's also another report saying the Cowboys and the Steelers were interested in Michael Thomas. Now, I don't know if this is a thing where they're interested but didn't give him a call, or Thomas didn't pick up the phone because he's being picky where he wants to go. I don't know the situation. I hope he plays again, but he's at a point where he doesn't have to play football again. Like, he is set up for life. And someone asked him if he was retired. He said no, he's not retired. So maybe he is still fielding calls, or maybe he's taking a year off. I don't know. But if you look at his recent Twitter activity, you can tell that he still loves the Saints. He's retweeting stuff about Alvin Kamara. He's retweeting stuff about Spencer Rattler. He's still showing Alvin Kamara support, put a hashtag #Hootout under some of his tweets. You can tell he still cares for his teammates, or his former teammates, the city and the fans. But the issue is the people running the team. And who knows, maybe he's waiting for Dennis Allen to get fired and then he'll sign with the Saints. I don't know. But it seems like he's still very involved with the Saints. I heard some people have seen him still in the city. He's still retweeting the Saints, still supporting them. So maybe he's just waiting for some people to get fired before he can join the team again. I just wanted to get this video out of there. I couldn't really come up with any ideas for a video to post on Wednesday today. So I thought this would be a good idea considering where the team is at. Felt like a good time to post this video. A lot of you owe Michael Thomas an apology. Subscribe to my channel, Cash Sports, for more daily NFL content and Saints content. Have a good one. Peace.